the challenges that we've got going on there in the Middle East, which are just ever increasing. And Joe Biden doesn't know what to do about it. He absolutely, positively doesn't know what to do about it. I mean, don't forget, this is the guy that after what went down in October, and we're looking at the 6-month anniversary now, was right out in front of the story and saying, you know what, we stand with Israel, etc. And now, because of some very noisy, dissonant members of his party that have his base all rallied and riled up, well, guess what? Joe is not as committed to Israel, or at least is not spouting the same kind of rhetoric that he used to, nor is his administration overall. I mean, Kamala's out there every chance she could get, right? Saying we need to do more for Gaza. Well, I want you to see a portion of this interview. This is with Margaret Brennan on CBS, Face the Nation. This is John Kirby sitting down with her, the Pentagon spokesperson, and now he's actually over at the White House as well. Let's listen to him and his thoughts on Israel, basically saying that we're going to tie any money that we are giving to Israel or allotting for Israel, we're going to tie it to making sure that civilians are protected. Listen.
I'm not going to get ahead of the president or decisions he might or might not make going forward. He was very clear in his call with the prime minister that if we don't see some changes in their policies in Gaza and the way they're prosecuting operations, we're going to have to make some changes of our own.
You do think these are Israeli policies then to block aid?
They get to decide how they prosecute this war. It's their operation. We just talked about them pulling troops out and what that means. They get to decide how they prosecute operations. We get to decide how we're going to react to that and how we're going to administer our own policy with respect to Gaza. We make those decisions, and the president was clear with the prime minister. If there's not changes, if things don't get better, then we're going to have to make changes of our own.
So basically, we're making sure that this aid is tied to any kind of civilian help that they can offer there in Gaza. It has a lot of people sort of saying, okay, wait, is this just an excuse? Like, are we trying to pull back? Are we pulling away? Are we trying to temper our enthusiasm for Israel? Joe was asked about this, and he didn't appreciate it very much. You got to watch the whole clip here, guys, because he starts to walk away, and just when you think it's over, it's not over. This is a reporter on Friday. They had this little gaggle, right? So he gets a mic effectively shoved in his face, and the reporter's asking these questions. And the reporter's like, hey, are you still as committed to Israel? Take a look.
On Israel, aid to Israel, Mr. President.
Pardon me?
Did you threaten to stop military aid to Israel?
I asked them to do what
Questions
they're
did
doing.
you threaten to stop military aid to Israel?
Are you abandoning Israel? What do you stop, man? Are you abandoning Israel?
It's really hard to make out. So I'm gonna do the translation for you. So he started to walk away there, and the reporter's shouting, "Are you abandoning Israel?" And he finally looks back, and he says, "Where are you from, man?" So that was kind of weird, right? I mean, he's the president that's really supposed to be so lefty and embracing diversity and embracing everybody from every country. And then he shouts out, "Where are you from, man?" I'm not really sure what that was about. I don't know where the reporter was from. I heard a slight accent, but it could be British. It could be just an international accent, or it could be Israeli. Was he trying to say, hey, you're from Israel? I don't know what that was about. I just think it was a weird thing for him, of all people, to say. His aides had to have been like, oh my gosh. It shows you his temper. Like, the guy's got a temper. We've heard that for years. Now the word on the street is he's yelling at his staff every second. He's yelling because he's upset. He's upset because the world is closing in. I mean, everything he has done has just been absolutely positively wrong. And now he's got Israel that he's got to deal with as well. In the meantime, you got Putin out there threatening World War III. I mean, can you imagine a worse set of facts? Can you possibly imagine that? It's like everything that could go wrong does go wrong. A total eclipse of the sun, so to speak.